You have some kids that got it.
Ready to roll? Okay. Demand?
Who's doing organization? If you didn't have that, we would completely
See, that's what I'm thinking, like, means professional. If I could have an hour any given day to say I have 30 minutes of travel time, you might get me for that hour, but you need to add the time before and after. That's not likely to happen because I usually have
we can't.
Driving me crazy.
no.
He's ready.
All right, well, as you'll see here are two questions that you're going to get with anyone. That's the situation. Let's hear how some of you are doing. Let's go all the way to the back over here. Who's going to report out over here?
I was doing personal.
Okay.
Rebecca's going to do.
All right. Once you get them both, say what the challenge is, and then how do you expect to get over it?
Sure. Well, we kind of already talked about the personal one about being with time and family. And we have some unique situations where people are single parents, they have kids, or they're kind of the sandwich generation, or they're caring for elderly parents, and or they're in school, so they have that on their plate too besides work. So basically, just communicating, keeping up with everyone's, like Steve said, kind of the big things that might be impediments, and everyone's kind of committed to pitching in and picking up the slack if there's ever an issue or a conflict where they can't make something. So.
Okay. Is that kind of difficult where you can't really explain what the situation is?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about we don't need all the nitty-gritty, details and stuff, but we've had all you have to do is say, hey, I got something with my kids, or something. You don't have to say what it is, or
There you go.
Yeah, and I think everyone's comfortable with that.
Very good.
Yep.
Thank you. Let's
So,
see what we hear.
Rebecca.
Yes, ma'am. What do you have?
Okay, our most difficult organizational challenge is that some of us have non-supportive leadership. I personally have leadership that aren't NMA members, and so coming to them and letting them know that I have things that I'd like to do with NMA can be kind of difficult at times. I know some of us, have to use our own personal time for these events. Some of us don't. We try to overcome that by letting them know. We try to sell NMA. Like I said, I sell NMA like it's a Coach purse. Like I'll let you know that, this is what I get. These are the people that I meet. And we're all working on it. It helps to have a good group of people that we can talk to and, make those challenges seem a little easier together.
What chapter are you?
The Cross Lucia, chapter 140.
Large chapter. Very good. Thank you. Go ahead. How about the one in front, right over here? Who's
You want personal?
Personal or organizational?
your choice, whatever.
I'll go first.
Okay, I'm talking about the organizational first, and one of the big things we have found among all of us is geography. I have personally about 70 miles of country plus probably 10 or 12 different facilities. So it's very difficult to get everybody together at one time. Another problem I have is apathy within the organization. We can't find out what they want to do. You ask for input and you get nothing back. Time constraints, that was a big one we talked about. We have no idea how to charge or how to work this stuff. Some of it has to be done during business hours. So how do you can't not charge it right. You have to do things correctly. And no vision. We don't know what way to go.
And what chapter?
I'm 543 Front Range, Colorado Springs.
Oh, yes. Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
And then on the more personal side, we talked about having a sort of a values paradox. If work comes first, but family comes first, and then NMA, sometimes it ends up being coming behind and behind. sometimes that just doesn't leave a whole lot of room to do all the things that you want to do with, you know, if you know what you want to do and you've got the vision, it still doesn't leave a lot of space left.
Very good. Thank you very much. Here you go. Which one do you want to
I'm
do?
sorry. Still writing. Okay, I'm going to do the personal, and as we all said, time. So to handle that, you have to do a lot of pre-planning. Motivation. When you're at work 8-9 hours a day, and then some, you're burnt out personally. So recommendation is to get your teams together. Get those working teams to help you out. Relationships, as Steve mentioned, you focus on the positive, what they can offer, and you know, don't pull so much out of that negative feedback that you're getting back. You know. Priorities, of course. Create your schedule. Get your planning out there. And location. Research your local area. See where, you know, maybe you can move things around. Get things in closer to the employees and to yourselves so that you can manage it better. Appreciation. You know, a lot of us, you know, what's our rate of return? What do we get out of it? So, you know, it's tough because we don't always get the appreciation that we would like for doing something on our own times. But you got to look at the positive. What are you getting out of it personally, and what are they getting out of it? Like in doing what you do, and getting outside your comfort zone. All I can say is pre-plan and practice. Use your people around you. You know, get that feedback. Use them as a wall where you can grow and look at your weaknesses there so that you can get stronger. So I have personally. Organizational. We deal a lot with perception. Stepping into the organization as new officers, we don't know what the other officers left behind. So we don't know what they've done. We don't know how our reputation has been left in what hands. So we have to build on that. Keep our promises. Start working on that. Geographics, as the gentleman said, it can be a challenge. And red tape. We go through a lot of red tape in some of the events that we try to put on. So there's a lot of time limits. You know, there's some programs we're allowed to have, some programs we're not allowed to have. We're only authorized this one because it's only authorized by the company. So there's a lot of pre-planning there that we have to look at. Cultural differences. So I mean, like again, focus on the strengths. If you can know somebody that is stronger in one area, pick them to do that particular event because they're going to be strong and they can provide more positive feedback there. New leadership. We've changed big time, not only within our own NMA organization, but we're changing big time in our organization, our work job. So, reduction in force, new executive CEOs, retiring. So there's a lot of change, and we need to know what they want from us. So we have to get out there. We have to start asking questions, connecting with them. It's a big important thing. New leadership within our own organizations. A lot of us do a lot of work during the day for this type of organization, so we don't always log everything down. And, so the new officers don't know the do's and don'ts. So how do you take care of that? Well, we create a lessons learned manual for each of us so that each officer, every time they come in, they know, and we don't have to keep asking and falling into those same errors again.
That's a very important aspect that I think a lot of chapters forget. That's very important. Everyone hear that one? The lessons learned?
Yeah.
Pass it on. Gets bigger, but good thing information. Thank you very much.
All right. So for personal, we said layoffs is a big one. Time management and priority of time. Personality, we all have a different background. We all come from somewhere different. Conflicting interests, extracurricular activities, church, family, sports, all that kind of thing. And then understanding the scope of the work. What is expected of somebody when they decide to become an officer or they decide to help out with, the chapter? What are you signing up for? What do you want to do? For organizational, it's getting leadership on board. For me personally, I don't have any executive management helping me out. So that's my key goal right now. Transition of positions, just like you said. I love the idea of the lessons learned manual. I think that's great. Budget. Does anybody have a perfect budget? No. Communication, that is key to everything, is making sure that communication across the board. We talked about having, salary versus non-salary. How do you incorporate everybody and make sure everything works? Communication, making sure people are on your distribution list. Create a distribution list and make sure it gets passed down from officer to officer. Clear goals. Where do you want to go? What's your vision going to be? Location and sites. I also have people that are, an hour away. So how do we incorporate to make sure that everybody can be a part of events and activities? Man and women power. Getting bodies, making sure that we have somebody there to do something. And then also rebranding. If you're new leadership, how are you going to make it work and have people that want to come on board?
All right.
Very good. Come back here.
They elected me to speak on their behalf. I was voluntold. So, well, collectively, it's nothing that no one else hasn't said already. Collectively, we have the personal challenges. The biggest one was time. Work, family, other organizations, just time to do what you voluntold to do was one of the biggest things amongst our group here, our group discussion. On the organizational side, again, the commitment, getting committed members to step up and do things. We found that most of the time our officers were doing all of the committee chair leadership roles as well as their officer role. And also participation from members and others in the chapter, chapters wherever they are. And for myself, Chapter 554 in Rockville, Maryland, we're very dispersed in the Washington metro area, and we do a lot of things virtually. So it's going to be really tough for us to get everyone to, hone in on a location when you could travel anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour away, or even longer sometimes, to get to a lunchtime programs event or an evening event, and that could be very challenging as well. So amongst our discussion here, those were the top three things: time, commitment, and participation.
Very good.
All right, I'm going to cover the personal side. I think we're just beating a dead horse here, but it's the same stuff. The time, of course, survey says number one answer. Staying motivated is we talked about being able to stay motivated, and to me, these kind of meetings energizes everybody. I've been in NMA for a while, and just normally this is a newcomer's thing to come and learn, but this kind of stuff motivates me to go back. I'm writing notes and taking things back to the group. So, and staying committed to what you're doing, depending upon your position, staying committed to the board members and your membership, your general membership is always difficult. And frustration kicks in. That's another one. We've talked about same people volunteer, same people are at every meeting. They have twice as many members and go through the same thing. I think we're all experiencing the same stuff where, it's frustrating that people spend the money for NMA every month, yet they don't want to participate or even come to the meeting. So it's or events. I'm sorry, events, not meetings. And then relationships. That's another one too. I don't know about y'all, but I deal with a lot of doorknobs. You talked about patience, having the patience, and I know I lack in that area. So relationships are important. Especially as I'm the president, so you have to try to treat everybody the same and stay happy and take people's ideas no matter how stupid or try to just to try to keep people motivated. keep people motivated to come to your meetings and make it interesting and things like that. So that's what I have on personally.
Hi, we're from the Trust and only in New York. Same as everybody else. Haven't heard anything new, or we don't have anything new really to report on. But for us, we meet once a month, lunch hour, to plan our meetings, and we have different personalities, trying to get the buy-in from members, the board members, to agree on what we want to do. Along with that, we don't always have a clear vision of what we want to do. We have a lack of, I should say, we don't have a great executive support system. We have a sponsor, but it seems like he's not going back to the leadership team to get their buy-in on what we want to do. Keeping our members interested. Some ideas work, some don't. Try to get people to join our group or become a board member. What do you want us, to do for you? And if you just can't get anybody to really respond. We also have a competing organization that has meetings about around the same time, and that takes away from some of our participation coming to our events. So that's it.
Very good. Thank you. You guys taking care of back there?
I think basically all the personal ones I think we covered, the time, the distance, and all of that. But we did have one. We have a relatively new chapter here, and sometimes what LMLA can do, or the NMA chapters can do for its members or potential members, is not clear or understood by folks. They're expecting much more from the chapter officers than what they should. They're looking for shortcuts to management. They're looking for the LMLA or NMA to kind of solve some really big problems that they perceive in organizations that they're not. They're looking for answers. How can I get promotion? Or how can I get promotion? And this without necessarily putting in the work. And the chapter leaders, while they're leaders in the organization themselves, can't necessarily just automatically promote somebody because they're a member of the chapter. Trying to help them understand that they got to do the work, they got to take the classes, do what is necessary to get the certifications, and not just subscribe to the offerings of the chapter. They've got to come in and kind of help develop the offerings that the chapter is going to make, so that the chapter can deliver to them the things that they really need.
Thank you. Very good. Okay, I want to wrap up this segment with you writing down 3 very important 3-letter words. These 3 words will be the answer to every challenge you come up with that I heard. The 3 words: fun, fun, fun. I'm going to give you 3 examples. 2 years ago, I was asked to come into our chapter, another chapter in our city, because they had personality conflict. And it was within the executive office. So I came in, I was told what the situation was, I interviewed the people. I came in, they were all sitting there, just the executive officers. And I said, well, it looks like you have some personality conflict. I said, the obvious. So, I wrote up on the board, fun, fun, fun. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, if you are doing anything to detract from those 3 words, then please don't be an officer, because you're not a leader. Not in a 501c6 organization where it's volunteer work. Example number 2. We are putting on the LDC West conference out in Richmond, Washington. The week after, we're putting on our golf tournament. The week after, we're putting on a fashion show. How about that? Now, where are we going to get all the help there?
Fun, fun, fun.
Fun, thank you. Fun, fun, fun. What do we do? We had our meetings for the LDC at a different restaurant each time we met. We put up a little sign, LDC planning, appreciate your quietness. And people would come up and say, what's LDC planning? You know. And then we got the word out, well, it's NMA, we're a leadership development organization. So it accomplished two things. It made it fun for us because we got some free wine. But it also spread the word about NMA. On the golf tournament, we went to every golf course and met there. Now we're realizing people who don't golf, never been to a golf place. You know, we put up a little sign there, same thing happened. But it was fun for them. We had 100% participation in those meetings every night. For the fashion show, we're at one conference area, one hotel, and we're working there. Well, she did the same thing. She went to the various hotels, fashion show planning. Whoa, that got the, you know, a lot of women came up and said, what fashion show? What's that? People bought tickets while they're meeting there. Be creative. Whatever you're doing, think, okay, talk it over with your officers. How can we make this appealing? Because if I have a choice between doing that or doing that, you know, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go to the fun thing. The third is, somebody said it, Rocky may have said it, but, no, you said it. It's always having to be positive as a leader. I had a very tough job where I was. I mean, the toughest job I've ever had was the last 20 years of my working life. I worked 70, 80 hours a week on the average. I mean, it was ridiculous. But people would come up to me and say, Bill, how do you do it? You're always smiling. You seem to really enjoy your work. And I know you're here all the time. I come in at 4 a.m. You're there. And, you know, I make up a story. I say, I love my job. Which aspects of it I did. But it really is part of leadership, isn't it? You have to suck it up. You have to, a positive person will get more results than a negative person. I will not follow a negative person. Somehow I get them out of my life. I just don't want it. And you'll see that in your new officers sometimes. Just another thing. Give them the talk that I'm giving to you now. The fun. Okay? Have fun. This is a volunteer organization. If you're putting things on and doing things that aren't fun, then don't do it. Drop it. Change it. Change it up. Do something else. Thank you much. See?
Bill, there's a little Paxil left. Might want to slip that. Okay, according to the schedule, we're done with this workshop at 10:30, so I will now talk really, really fast. No. Let's go to, just look at a couple of them. We'll wind her up. Really, sometimes being a leader is about dealing with the situations, and I love this quote. A leader must be able to react to, respond to, and recover from the existing circumstances, often in an instant. This is a great little book. Well, it's called a little book of leadership. It's a great little book. If you ever have a chance to get it. That's part of the learning curve of being an NMA chapter leader. And it's also part of the advantages that accrue to you. There is absolutely nothing else in here that we haven't talked about in one way, shape, or form. Because what we wanted to do this morning was to give you an opportunity to chat among yourselves. And I guess my parting shot here is to wrap. And that is, I personally do not like to go to a meeting and not get my questions in. So when you were sharing some of the things your group was talking about, I felt your pain. I think we all are trying to figure out how to make this work, how to revitalize that chapter, how to move it. What I heard were your questions. I'm not sure I heard whether or not your group gave you answers. Did they?
Got some ideas.
Got some ideas? Were they dumb ideas like Rock has, or stupid ideas?
They weren't quite that bad.
They weren't that bad? So you actually got some good ones?
Yeah.
So there's hope? Seriously, you feel, because I know you have to leave today, so do you feel better? Feel like you got some stuff while you were here? Do all of you feel like you picked up stuff from each other? You know, misery loves company. But there's safety in numbers, and I hope this morning's exercise has been helpful to each of you. Now we get to have a little fun. We got a 15-minute break. Then we're going to go back over to the Eastern Market for the next top leadership model, where you can just let it all out. So we're going to have some fun. Pardon me? Oh, that's true. Let me rephrase it. We're going to go back over wherever the hell we had breakfast.
Windsor.
And have some fun over there. So, okay? Thanks.